Hello everyone, my name is Jovino D. Pedraza Jr. and my group will be discussing about electrical systems and materials, service, and utilization. So I'll be discussing my part, and here are the topics. First part, electric service. Service is normally tapped into the utility lines at a mutual agreeable point at or beyond the property line. The service tap may be a connection on a pole with an overhead service drop to the building, an underground service lateral to the building, or a connection to an underground utility line with a service lateral to the building. Service from the utility line to the building may be run overhead or underground, depending on the following conditions. Here are the conditions: length of service run, type of terrain, budget limitation, utility company voltage, site and nature of electric load, importance of appearance, local practice and ordinances, maintenance and service continuity, and weather condition. So here is the overhead service. Overhead service depending on terrain and other factors. The cost of overhead as compared to the underground installation is in the range of 10% to 50%. Here are the types of overhead cables. Overhead cables are of several types: bare, weatherproof, pre-assembled aerial cable. So bare copper cable supported on porcelain or gas insulators on cross arms is normally used for high voltage, 2.4 kilovolts and higher lines. Secondary circuits at 600 volts and below are generally run on porcelain spool secondary racks with once waterproof cable as the conductor. Pre-assembled aerial cable consists of 3 or 4 insulated cables wrapped together with a metallic tape, as you can see here, and suspended by hooks from the poles. This type of construction may be used up to 15 kilovolts, more economical. So here the example of a overhead service. Let's proceed to the underground service. So here are the advantages. It is very attractive because you cannot see the wirings in the streets, and service reliability and long life. But here are the disadvantages. It is high cost and direct burial technique. Here are the different types of direct burial, sand fill. It is low cost and easy installation. The second one is they put a concrete slab. This type of direct burial is medium cost but little strength. Third one is under the pavement. It offers high strength and permanence, but it is expensive. When underground, electric wiring is duct installed and the run extends over several hundred feet, a pulling handhole or manhole is necessary. This is often used for high voltage cable. Cable usually used is the SE type U or use. Service equipment. Transformer between the high voltage incoming utility lines and the secondary service conductors is required whenever the building voltage is different from the utility voltage. It may be pole or pad mounted outside the building or installed in a room vault inside the building. So let's proceed. Transformers are devices that change or transforms alternating current of one voltage to alternating current of another voltage. So there are two types of transformers. The first one is a step up. A transformer rated 120 over 480 volts transforms lower volt to 120 volts AC to 480 volts AC bigger load. The next one is step down. To transform a bigger load to a lower voltage. So as you can see in the picture, from here there is a 4,160 volts, and it was transformed into 120 volts. So here, primary voltages are higher than the secondary voltage, but it was stepped down through transformer so that it can provide electricity to the houses or buildings. If the voltage coming in is low, that is if a 120 volts outlet gives only 95 volts, then a step up still can be used to maintain the same 110 volts, but this time the equipment is a direct plug into the receptacle. So we are going to use the step up this time because the outlet only gives 95 volts. So in order to give the exact voltage, we're going to use the step up through the direct plug into the receptacle. As you can see here, from the outlet to the direct plug in into the receptacle. Transformers are available in three-phase construction or single-phase construction. Transformer power capacity is rated in kilovolt amperes. For a single-phase unit, this figure is the product of the full load current and the voltage. Thus, a 100 kilovolt ampere transformer will carry out full load 2400 over 120 volts. So here is the solution. You're going to solve for the volts ampere over the volts. So here, 100,000 volts ampere divided by the 2400 volts. And here is the equivalent. Now, there are appliances manufactured now which has an automatic switch transfer inside, such as the appliances. Example is a TV can be switched directly to either a 110 outlet or 220 volts outlet. So this depends on the place. For example, in the Philippines, we use 220 volts outlet, and if you bring a TV that only supports 110 volt outlet, we're going to have to use a converter for that. Or some TV has a built-in switch that can switch from 110 volts outlet to 220 volt outlet. Next one is service equipment arrangement and metering. Metering must be provided at either the utility or the facility voltage, and at either the service point or inside the building, which must be accessible to the utility meter reader. Generally, for a single-use building or a building where electricity is included in the rental charge, only a single meter is necessary. So for houses or buildings, single-use buildings, we only use a single meter. The next one, to discourage energy waste in apartments, master metering is forbidden. Where sub-metering is required, such as apartment houses, banks of meter sockets are installed to accommodate the multiple meters. So apartments use sub-metering, and they can't use master metering to discourage energy waste in apartments. The next one is service switch. The purpose of the electric service switch is to disconnect all the electric service in the building except emergency equipment. The service switch or service disconnecting means may compromise 1 to 6 properly rated switches. These are frequently assembled into switchboard. So for the next topic, we are going to discuss about the switches.
Switches. Number of poles and throws of a switch. Three-way spot. Switches. A switch in an electronic device is used to interrupt the flow of electricity or electric current. Electrical switches are binary devices. They can be either completely off or completely on. In simple English, a switch is an electronic device which is used to break or make the electronic circuit. Switches can be rated by current, alternating current and direct current, voltage, volt and kilovolt, duty, normal duty, and heavy duty. Pole and throw. Pole indicates the number of circuits that one switch can control, while throw indicates the number of contact points. Enclosure. Cabinet for electrical equipment to mount switches to prevent electrical shock. And fusibility is the capability of being fused or melted by heating. This is the heavy duty or the HD. Triple fusible switch in an industrial type NEMA. Number of poles and throws of a switch. A single pole single throw switch or the SPST. and then the double pole single through switch, and 3-pole and solid neutral, or the 3P and SN, and then the single pole double through, or the SPDT. And this is the three-way switch here. How the four-way switch works: switches, single pole switches, contactors, special switches. Off. Here, the snap switch has two knobs, key 1 and key 2, which connects the lines of the same color. On. Here, the snap switch key 1 connects lines black and red, and key 2 connects lines black and red. How the four-way switch works: her contact points E and D are shunted, and likewise points B and C. These switches, or key 1 connects lines 2 to line 3, and key 2 connects line 1 to line 4. Note that there are 4 binding terminal screws, and inside the box are 8 contact points, 8 to each. Here, contact points E and D and B and C are shunted, thereby becoming the common base of the two knobs as shown when the switch is operated. Line 1 and line 3 are connected, and lines 2 and line 4 are connected. Circuit layout with conduit, or BX. A single pole 3-gang switch, or single pole 2-gang switch. A lamp can also be connected with 2 SPDT, or the single pole double through, and a double pole double through switch. When switch is on the right, lines 1 and line 4 and lines 2 and 3 are connected. When switch is on the left, lines 1 and 3 are connected, and lines 2 and line 4 are connected. These are the switches: a tumbler switch surface type, open knife switch, switch box type, and double switch flash type. Installation of knife switch, double switch. These are the single pole switches, a double through and a single through. Contactors. A contactor is a switch. Instead of handle-operated movable blade and fixed grip, it uses 2 contact blocks of silver-coated copper, which are forced together to make or close, or are separated to break or open the circuit. A reel is a small electrically operated contactor. Special switches are time-controlled switches, remote-controlled switches, automatic transfer switches, or the ATS. Time-controlled switch. This device comprises a precision low-speed miniature drive motor, or the timer, to which some type of electric contact making device is connected. It is useful in areas subject to power outages, since outage will show up directly as a switch delay. Remote control switches, a contactor that latches mechanically after being operated. These devices are extremely useful in lighting control and energy conservation techniques. And lastly, the automatic transfer switch. This device, which is an essential part of all standby power arrangement, is basically a double-through switch, generally 3-pole, so arranged that on failure of normal service is restored, it automatically transfers to it. And that was all about our report. Thank you.